Hello everyone. I want to talk to you guys about some things that has been bothering me. And trust me, it's a lot of negative thoughts have been bothering me for the past weeks. So let me just go ahead and get right into it. So, first let me ask y'all something. Have y'all ever if y'all have a sibling and then you get embarrassed by them, then later your feelings starting to hurt. And then you just sit there and just do nothing about it but react to what they're doing. Don't you hate it when you get embarrassed by your sibling? Even though if they're outside with you, or even though you're outside by yourself, and then later your sibling come along and says, look at this kid. He ain't doing nothing. The kid ain't doing nothing but sitting there and not doing nothing. And then later you get embarrassed by them. Don't you hate it when that happens? So, yeah. I've been embarrassed by certain people. And yes, certain kids, yes. But I've been getting embarrassed by certain people and certain kids. Sometimes in public, sometimes at school. I even get embarrassed by my sibling when I'm at home. And I hate it when this happens. Don't you hate it? Don't you hate it? Like, if you tell them, hey, stop it, and then later they don't stop, they just ain't gonna do nothing but get on your nerves more. And that's the thing that had bothered me. It's a lot of things that's been happening for the past weeks. When bad stuff happens to me a lot, and then later I don't do nothing about it but just sit here and just try to get it out of my head, then later it bothers me for so long and I don't express my feelings to not even one person, then I'm just thinking to myself hey, maybe I can't do nothing about it because I'm worried not one person will understand. And here's the thing though. If you get embarrassed by your sibling in public, for example, if you go to fast food by yourselves, if you go to, well, I'm not going to say by yourselves. I'm not going to say that. So, my fault for saying that. So, if you ever go to fast food restaurants with them, and then later the next thing you're going to know what's happening is that you're going to get embarrassed by them even though they ain't going to stop. Trust me, I've been telling my sister to hey, stop embarrassing me. Or hey, can you stop this? This is embarrassing. And then later, my sister don't even care at this point in age. Because at the end of the day, nothing's gonna happen if you don't run to a person and express your feelings to them. Or just sit by yourself and try to just get it out of your head. And trust me, that happens to me. It always happens to me. I always get picked on by certain people. You always gonna get picked on either way. But I was waiting for this whole pick on and bullying. I just want all this bad stuff to stop. But something told me that's just how the world is. But the world is already messed up than it is right now. Because let me tell y'all this. It's been a lot of people that always brought people for money. All people rob banks, grocery stores, gas stations. even fast food restaurants. People used to do these kind of days. They used to do these one of these days. They always do. I'm pretty sure they might keep doing it. Because they're just homeless. You shouldn't do all of this when you're homeless. You shouldn't rob people for money if you're homeless. And the thing is, though, you shouldn't just get bullied and picked on and get embarrassed and not just do nothing. And trust me, I did this before, and I didn't say anything to anyone because it had bothered me for so long, and I didn't get the chance to just express myself to people because certain people wouldn't understand what I'm going through unless I tell them. And then the next thing I knew, sometimes people won't care. They won't care what you're going through unless you tell them. Or if they don't care, like, specifically. If they, specifically don't care. And my bad for stuttering. I'm just trying to say things right so I don't mess these up. Like, if they specifically don't care about what you're going through, or things like that, just try your best not to just speak to them. Make sure you just find the right person to trust. Sometimes you trust the same person, but then later, they ain't gonna trust you, even though you trust them before. Like, if they trust you, like, doing good things. I've always do. My friends trust me, because I've always done nice things to people. Well, not to people, but for people. Like, for example, I've always hugged my friends a lot, but sometimes they're not a hugging buddy, which kind of makes sense because sometimes when you hug your friends, sometimes it just makes them uncomfortable. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they just want to do something different, like how to greet you, like fist bump you. That's what I do for some of my friends. But if you ever, like, do something nice for people, even though you've trusted them for the rest of your life, and then you're literally, like, nice with the right person to trust, but it comes a time that you never know what's going to happen next. If they're going to show their reaction of how you treat people with, like, let's just say, like, if you treat people with respect, kindness, they will accept it. There will come a time if certain people don't accept your kindness sometimes. There'll come a time that if certain people don't accept your kindness because they don't know you like that. That happens to me before. Because I've been trying to make good decisions to be nice to everyone. But it comes a time that they won't accept my kindness unless they get to know me. But it's a lot that's been happening to me, a lot. Sometimes my sister don't accept my kindness because she accepts everyone's kindness instead of my kindness. Because I'd be mean to her. And that's the thing that bothers me. Certain people just think I'm just a mean person. And whenever I just be silent, they just speak to me saying, "Oh, you're so quiet. I'm surprised you don't speak." I do speak, I just don't speak too often. Because I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. And then I was told to just be positive to everybody. Not because I was told to, but I was chose. I was chose to be positive. Because someone might not watch me be kind, but sometimes when you just be kind to people on your own, even though some people might teach you how, like your family, if you trust a family member, something like that, and then they teach you how to be kind, and they give you like good advice. Like for example, like if someone like give me an advice for having a girlfriend, which I already have one, like make sure you be a good boyfriend. Like make sure you don't do anything bad or anything like that has something to do with negative. Just don't do nothing like those. Just be a good boyfriend, like show them how much you care. You should show everyone that you care about them and they respect you more. And then they respect you back when you give the same respect to someone. When you try to just let it be okay and just go along with it. I've went along with a lot of things. And trust me, I'm just doing nothing but just being myself and try to be nice to everyone. But then certain people will embarrass me about it and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then I'll be like, "Hey, I'm just being kind. I'm just being kind to your daughter, like to your daughter, your son, or your cousin, something like those." And then they're just gonna look at you saying, "Oh, they don't know you." That's the next thing I knew. They won't accept your kindness unless you get to know them. Well, that's not how I see it. It's just my opinions. Just my opinions on some things. And trust me, sometimes my sister don't accept my kindness because whenever I be kind to her, like for example, I've let her play the game with me so many times, and then later she gets upset with me because I play better. Because I know how to do combos well. Like, I play Dead or Alive games. I play fighting games. And I'm getting to know the combos more. Like Dead or Alive. Like Dead or Alive 5, last round and 6. I like Ryu Hayabusa. I've learned combos. That's why I'm trying to get to know the combos more. Because it's some things I'm trying to work on even while playing the game. But I dream about playing better, try to do more combos, because if you have a favorite fighting game character, right? And then you play with them for the longest, even though you don't play with different characters because you like one character the best. Like for example, I play with Ryu, but sometimes I play with different characters. Yes, there's more characters that I like the best, but Ryu Hayabusa is the best character of video game history. Because one, he always he has the Azuna drop. He has the Hayabusa style. He has the Azuna drop. And I like the Azuna drop. Like if I'm facing a zombie enemy, I wish I can do the same. That's why I was dreaming I can be Ryu Hayabusa one day. Then later, the next thing I know, my sister was thinking maybe Ryu Hayabusa ain't bad, so I accepted it. And the next thing I know, when I kept playing with him, she got upset about it. And that's the thing that affects me, because if your sibling don't like you playing with the same character because you play with them better instead of the other characters, because like, for example, if you have 4 characters in one fighting game, like the core fighter versions of Dead or Alive 5 and 6, and you have 4 characters. So in Dead or Alive 5 last round, the core fighter version, you only got 4. You got Kasumi, Ayane, Hayate, and Ryu Hayabusa. That's the only characters you have. But then, if you start playing with, this is my opinions. So like, if you're playing with Ryu Hayabusa, because he always got the Zoom Drop move with him, because his father taught him, because he trains well, he fights well, he fights with honor. But there will come a time that a ninja will fight with death and vengeance. There will come a time that. But they can only bring vengeance and death to their enemies. To respect the honor that you have in you. I've always treated people with kindness. I think that must be considered an honor, but it's just a will to just like be kind to one another. I've been trying to work on being kind to everyone, but my mom used to tell me, like, there'll come a time where people won't accept your kindness because they don't know you like that. And then later people gonna think you're a stranger. And something tells me that's just how life is. I don't like being a stranger, and I don't like being called that. Because I'm just a young man, a 15-year-old young man. But then people just won't, like, respect your, like, they won't respect your kindness. Because they will do nothing but to just, like, think about it, and then later they start messing with you about it. But then later when you go out in public with somebody, and then you see a friend of yours that you haven't seen for a while, or a long time, then later some people will, like, let's just say, like, they'll watch you, but then later you show more kindness to your friends more than you do with your siblings. But I'm just trying to be, like, I'm trying to be as kind with people as I can, but there will come a time that they won't accept it. And sometimes I have to tell myself, like, hey, make sure you be kind to one another. Make sure you be kind to certain people. That's why I need to be careful who I'm interacting with. Because I'll never know what's going to happen next if I interact with the same person. And that's the stuff I got from one of my teachers in school. I need to be careful who I'm interacting with. Like, if you interact with people on social media, like TikTok, if people post comments on your YouTube stuff and they're interacting with you, there will come a time where you just need to be careful. Be careful, like, who you trust. who you interacting with the most, because there will come a time that certain people will feel some kind of way if you interact with them. And that's the same way I'm doing. I'm trying to be careful who I'm interacting with because I never know what's going to happen next. But it's just that I don't like when I just like get bullied and get picked on and get insulted or get embarrassed about those kind of things because sometimes, well, yeah, sometimes I do bully people a lot, but I'm just trying to work on not bullying people. Because, yes, I used to sit by myself, but there will come a time that I don't like being by myself because I'll just be a lonely kid and I'll just sit here, like, for example, I'll just sit at the park alone if I don't have any friends to interact with. Because I don't talk to my friends too often. But I just don't like being alone. I just don't like being alone. And what bothers me about it is when I'm just alone, like every time I'm just crying, shedding tears, and then one person will be concerned and just like, why are you crying? And then you tell them why. And then later, you trust someone. Then later you start to like trust someone. Like they're trying to be like you. They're trying to do the same thing that you're doing. Like you always be silent, you don't talk too often, which a lot of people do. But sometimes they just want to be like you, like be silent, be kind to everyone, treat people with honor and respect your kindness. It will come a time that people will do the same thing. And I just don't like when bad things just happens around me. It's like I'm just being surrounded by a lot of negative thoughts. And then it feels like I'm just living in the negative thoughts' home. And that's the thing that had bothered me. When one negative thought bothers me, it just feels like I'm just in a bad home, like I just don't feel safe, like I'm not in a safe place. There will come a time that whenever I'm just like, when the negative thoughts like messes with me throughout my whole day, there'll come a time that it will like, let's just say like, affect me more than it had already affected me. And that's the thing that had been affecting me a lot. Is that people just wants to get in the way from me to just do kind things for everyone. If like my friends don't have those kind of issues because they sense the kindness in me. Well, sometimes they sense it, but sometimes they just see it. They can see it in you. Because they've always seen kindness in me because I've always been kind. Not because I was told to, but because I chose. Because I chose to. When I'm ready to make like good decisions, like I'm always told, Sometimes I was told, but sometimes I chose to. Sometimes it's not what you're told to do things, but because what you chose to do stuff. Like, do stuff that's good and not bad. But then later, somebody will treat you something like, they will treat you like you're nothing but not a kind person. And I know I ain't the only one that's been treated this way. It's a lot of people that's been treated like this. It's not just one person. It's more than just one person. But I was just sitting by myself and just wishing that everything would just be normal. Like, everything would just be normal. Without the negative thoughts, without any bad things that happens. And then later it starts to like affect a lot of people. And then later it bothers them for too long. Because it happens to me a lot. Like I said, I've always get embarrassed. I always get bullied. I always get embarrassed. I always get insulted. I always get these kind of things from people. Because I keep being treated bad. Trust me, I get treated bad by my sister. Because sometimes she just never, like, see the kindness in me because she haven't watched me. She haven't watched me be kind because she's only worrying about herself. But sometimes, well, you don't have to care sometimes, but sometimes you have to. Because when people's feelings starts to hurt, and then they're all by themselves alone, and then they start crying, they've always listened to sad music, which I do on a daily basis. I cry a lot. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But when I was in middle school, some of my friends was saying, "Oh, you cry every day." Even though, yeah, I do cry every day. Sometimes I do cry every day, but because there's a lot of bad stuff going on, it just like bothers me the most. Like, for example, if your siblings' thoughts like mess with your mind, and then later they say more bad stuff to you because you're receiving them. Because like if you're receiving them through the sound receivers, like if someone calls you like out your name, and trust me, I've been called out my name so many times. They call you out your name, even though that's not how you were named. I was named Carter. It just wasn't for a reason. If it was a reason, that would be different. But when it really like comes down to it, people won't do nothing but just like make you feel some kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, I just want people to just be kind to everyone. That's not how people be, because people are different. That's what I have to learn. I have to learn that people are just not going to do the same like you always do. Because sometimes they're just going to be a different person. Sometimes they won't do the same. They'll just do different things. And I expected I expect kindness from a lot of people. And yeah, you could just easily say like, well, Carter, you always expect kindness from a lot of people because you always be kind to everyone. And you do got a point. But I just want you to like, just sit here, just sit and take the time to like, just ask yourself, why would someone would treat me so bad even though they haven't did anything wrong to you? And that's the stuff that bothers me. Like if you're playing a video game with someone, like a fighting game, and then later you win against them because you've played better. That happens to me before. Because yes, I get mad sometimes when I lose. Sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. But when it comes down to it, sometimes I just want to be a winner, not a loser. But instead, I keep being treated that way because I've always lose a couple of rounds in fighting games. Like I've always do arcade and Dead or Alive. Like Dead or Alive 5 last round. I used to play it on the hardest. I used to do it on the hardest difficulty, and then later my opponents is going to be more aggressive. And then later when they win 2 rounds, I lose. I just don't want to be that type of person that wants to get treated bad. I don't want to be that kind of person to just let bad stuff happen and just not say anything about it. I just don't want to be that kind of person. And it just bothers me the most. I've always get embarrassed out in public. Sometimes I get embarrassed outside, even when I'm outside. But from the outside looking on the inside, it's just that I just don't like getting embarrassed, like out in public. Like at school, even at grocery stores, gas stations, markets. Even at your own family member's house. Like if you're going to a family member's house, a friend's house, or a cousin's house, then later you get embarrassed. You get embarrassed there. I get embarrassed by my sister because I always hang out with Greg when I'm at my grandma Beverly house. I get embarrassed by her. And I've been telling her to stop doing it and just let guys have guys time. And trust me, I've let females have females time. I've let females do females time. And I let men do man time. Like, I've always had man time with, like, my uncle, my dad, even my granddad. I used to do those kind of things. But I'm just at the point now where I just don't want to get treated. I just don't want to get treated so bad. That's when it comes down to it. And I'm just getting tired of the negative thoughts bothers me in my head throughout the day. Cause it bothers me, cause it always bothers me. Because at the end of the day, it'll bother me for like a couple of days, sometimes throughout the whole week, and throughout the whole month and years. There will come a time that I can't do anything about it but just run to a person and just express my feelings to them about it. But I just don't want it to just like bother me forever. It bothers me when I'm in school. It even bothers me when I'm off school. I just don't want it to bother me throughout my whole summer. Because I don't want my whole summer to be messed up by just negative thoughts. If you're catching what I'm saying. But I just don't want my whole summer to just be messed up by just negative thoughts and just roll along with it. And part of it is my fault because I keep blaming myself for things. I keep blaming myself for things. Like, when things never gets done, I gotta blame myself because I can tell I'm not doing things right. Because I'm just doing stuff wrong, even though I'm trying to make things right. But to just sit here and just blame myself for things, I just hate it. When bad stuff happens around me, I have to blame myself for it. And that's when it comes down to it. I don't like getting bullied. I don't like getting embarrassed. I don't like getting picked on. I don't like getting assaulted. I don't like getting called out my name with bad names. I don't like those kind of things, so every time I'm trying not to let it bother me and affect me, then later it just comes along. It just comes along. But yeah, that's it from me. I figure I'd just get on camera and just express myself to you guys because you guys understand me well. You're more than just my friend. You're more just like a nice, understanding friend. Because you guys try to understand me more, and I try my best to just express it. Like I always tell you guys how kind I am and how I make everyone happy. But bad thoughts gets in the way when that happens too. But yeah, I figure I get on here and just express myself to you guys because I figure I just tell y'all a story about it. So, well, yeah, that's the story. So, I hope you guys understand this. If you guys understand this story, and that's it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Adios. So yeah, I'm about to go ahead and get off of here. So I figure I'd come on here and express myself to y'all. So until next time.